this is my own CPA journey. Other people have different journeys, and yeah, the fact that I struggled is okay because I kept going and I finally passed him.
Let's welcome our next guest who just recently passed the CPA exam.
I am from Eastern Pennsylvania. I grew up there, and I am now living in Portland. I moved to Portland to finish school at Portland State University, and I ended up getting a job here, so I plan to stay, and I love Portland.
How did you stay focused and maintain the drive and self-discipline to pass this exam?
Generally, I'm a very focused person, so that part wasn't very hard. And I was, just getting out of 5-6 years of being at the university, so I went right into studying. So I just did the same thing, the same study methods as I was when I studied before. One thing that I didn't do, and I wish I did do early on, was I didn't take breaks. I was like, I just got to get these done as soon as possible. I'm not going to care about my mental health or my eating. I'll just eat whenever I have time and eat whatever foods are fast. And I learned the first couple exams that started wearing on me because I was just generally not happy, and so I realized that and changed my processes. For the last 2 exams, I had 1 day a week where I was just resetting, just getting out in nature or doing something that I love to do, and jumping right back into studying the next day. And that really, really helped. It was hard to do because you just want to study as much as possible every single day, but yeah, it's not sustainable for sure. It could be sustainable if you're the kind of person that will pass all of the exams in 4 months, but if it's taking you 19 months, you can't do that for 19 months.
How did you manage the study time?
Yeah, that was definitely a challenge. I was fortunate enough to get in the recruiting cycle at the right time, so I was actually had a full-time offer while I was still in school. So I started studying a little bit while in my last semester, and then had the whole summer and part of the fall before I started in the end of October. So it was very lucky to just I only had a part-time job for 20 hours, and the rest of the time I just studied all day. And yeah, I just stayed organized by making a plan of what I wanted to do per week, and then each day I'd wake up and try to make a plan of what I was going to do that day. I think 1 day out of all the days, I actually finished everything I thought I was going to finish. Usually I just had to bump it to the next day. Yeah, so I kept that plan very, very flexible, but just to keep motivated, I did keep making that plan, making that calendar, making my appointments, so I knew I was holding myself accountable to a day. I changed that appointment probably 6 times all in all through Prometric, because I got a week from the appointment, and there was no way I was going to be ready.
What did you do a day before the exam?
So this might be a little bit different than what most people do, but I typically don't study the day before the exam. I'll do something like get out in nature, or back when we could go to restaurants, I would go take myself to a nice meal or have fun, hang out with friends, and then maybe come home and do some flashcards. But for me, I have a lot of anxiety in the testing center on exam day. So by the day before the exam, I have to know the content so deeply that if there's nothing I'm gonna learn the day before, and I know that. So 2 days before the exam is probably a better representation of what you should do. But by that time, I have all the flashcards that I really need to know before I get on the exam, and they should be dwindled down a lot. I'll maybe do a practice test or 2, but I usually stick to my flashcards and then paging through the book, because that nervous energy is starting, and you're just, I don't know, I would always be so hard on myself if I was getting questions wrong 2 days before the exam. So I took out all that, and you can't get a flashcard wrong. So I would stick with those, and yeah, just going through a lecture or the book to see if there was anything that I had kind of left over.